We are live. How about you, everybody? Welcome into the season opening Auburn Live call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, senior recruiting editor for Auburn Live on 3. And today, what the hell is today? Today is Sunday, August the 27th, 2023. We are 6 days away from the start of the Hugh Freeze era. Has some music in my ear. And we're going to get to all of that and more. Joined tonight, as I always am, 55% of the time, because he was not here last time. No, it was the recruiting show. Anyways, Mr. Cole Pinkston, how about you, big dog?
How about you? Yeah,
I like that.
55's fair. It's fair. I jumped in halfway, so that's about 55, right?
It wasn't your fault. I mean, you were working. So
yeah, you're right.
I bumped you up to 60. Now, I can't say what Jhead's doing right now. He's definitely taking a little shot down.
Well, look, you know how it is when you got a little guy running around there.
Oh, for sure. We Jhead will be with us in a moment. He'll be joining us in a second now. While he is out, we're going to get to the phone lines as quick as we can tonight, folks. This is Auburn's kicking off Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Central Time, hosting the hated UMass
Minutemen.
Cole would know about that. The UMass Minutemen. Auburn is a 39-point favorite. I say that because Cole studied them on the film. I actually watched them last night. Did you catch any of that game, New Mexico State?
Yeah, I did. I watched some of it. I totally forgot that Tyson Foe, however you say his name, transferred there from Clemson, and he was a 4-star recruit.
There you go. Look decent. I mean, but I was watching that going, this is a total different class than what Auburn is in. I mean, Auburn should beat the snot out of them. There's Mr. Jhead, Mr. 55% of the time. He's always here. How about you, Mr. Jhead?
A little bit of technical difficulty, brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you made it. I knew you wouldn't be far behind. We were talking about Auburn and just getting the show started. Give us a call, folks, 701-779-9585. We're going to get to the phone lines as quickly as possible. Auburn is a 39-point favorite. Last I checked on Vegas Insider or whatever the hell I look at. 39-point favorite, 52 over and under. And kicks off at 2:30. And we will get to the phones as quickly as possible. First, before we do, if you're looking for a home in or around Auburn, Alabama, Opelika, Alabama, Lee County, Alabama, look no further for some help. If you're looking to sell your house in Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, Alabama, look no further for some help. Her name is Jessica Andrus with the Talents Group. Give her a call, man, 334-704-4442. She's a 5-star realtor. Just ask Jhead. Give her a call, man. She is a fantastic selling agent. She can find you the house that you want and need, and she'll do it. Do a fantastic job at it. 334-704-4442. Jessica Andrus with the Talents Group. Tell her we sent you. And before we get to it, man, I got another shout out for a little local business, man. I was done right. I was done right by Mr. Adam Miller from Adams Motorsports this past week. Adam hooked me up. He does it for all of his clients, man. I'm telling you, I bought a Kawasaki mule, got me a little side-by-side. Dude, his prices and his attitude, and this guy wanted my business. I felt like other people wanted my money. This guy wanted my business, and he actually says that on his card. Your pleasure is our business. He did a fantastic job. Anybody looking for a side-by-side, any kind of motorcycle, four-wheeler, give Adam a call there at Adams Motorsports, 334-320-9383. He will hook you up, and it's worth the drive. If you're in Auburn, dude, it's a 45-minute drive to Adams Motorsports. Absolutely. He saved me a lot of money. He is a fantastic dude, fantastic guy, and those are the kind of people you like doing business with. Give him a call, Adam Miller with Adam Motorsports, 334-320-9383. All right, folks.
I'm looking into that one.
Yes. I'm telling you, man. Listen, I was in Auburn. I talked to people in Auburn, Opelika, Troy, LaGrange, Montgomery, and this dude was head and shoulders above everybody. It was not even close. This guy is he's fantastic, man. Great dude. Great little business that they've got there in Montgomery. So I wanted to give him a shout out, man. He did me right, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks. Let's. We got any calls yet, Zach?
5 calls, but before we get to that, You want to drop our question of the night?
All right.
There we go.
This is our POW. Personal question of the week. We forget the Q and the T there. This is personal question of the week. POW, big dog. All right, POW. Here it is. First of all, I had a couple. I had a few thrown at me. I want to get y'all real quick on this before we get to the real POW.
Sure.
Ketchup, do you refrigerate? This was submitted by Miss Wendy Smith. Ketchup, do you leave ketchup in the cupboard or do you put it in the refrigerator?
In the fridge.
Fridge.
Yeah, I go fridge.
Me too. But there are some people who and listen, I went out to eat with Jessica the other day to a little cafe here in Auburn. They had all their ketchup, out on the table. But so I guess there are people that leave it lukewarm, room temperature.
I have before, and I didn't particularly love it that way. So I've been fridge ever since, and I do that with hot sauce.
Me too.
Any kind of condiment.
Well, I went and I read. It says for best results, refrigerate after opening.
Right. But you're right. In every restaurant you go in, the ketchup or the A1 sauce or whatever you're going to be using, it's laid out there on the counter and it's kept at room temperature.
That is true.
Our true question of the week, and also here's another thing for just us. When you take your socks off at night, do you floss your toes?
Ooh, no, I don't.
Okay, just might be a me thing because I'm pretty high class when it comes to personal hygiene.
I see that. You 100% are. I respect it.
I take my socks off and then and Jessica says, "You want to floss your toes?" Well, hell yeah, I got jam in there, big dog. Floss my toes with my sock and then I put it in the dirty hamper.
We're talking about some personal foot therapy here. We're at the precipice of the first game of the year, and we got foot therapy.
This is okay. Here's the POW this week. Personal question of the week. Do you drain your radiator in the shower? Jhead. Now listen. Now Cole and I had a little preview, Zach, as well. I thought everybody would say hell no.
Yes.
I'll say again.
You're the only person who is going to say no. I'm telling you.
I'll say again, Jeffrey.
Listen to Cole.
I truly believe this. I truly believe it. Two types of people in the world: those who pee in the shower and liars. There it is.
I'll wear my scarlet letter. Listen, I will get out of the shower onto the towel that I put down on the floor because I step out onto a clean towel, not the bath mat that some of you peasants use.
It's amazing how it all comes back. Full
Pee
circle.
and then get back in. I'm not peeing in the shower.
Wild.
It's not an everyday thing for me, right? You know what I mean? It's situational, kind of like a scrimmage. But
there it is, Zach, in the comments. Yo, Malcolm. I told Jeffrey this before we got on. Aim for the drain.
Yes.
There you go.
I mean, if I were to be in the shower, first of all, I'm peeing before I get in. Secondly, do you have to go that bad that you can't wait 3 minutes? Because we're fellas. We don't take 10-minute showers. We're in and out in 4 to 5.
Well, the first question is how hungover am I to start with, and then the second, you know what I mean?
I can't. I just can't pee where I wash. I just can't do it. All right, we're gonna go POW. Do you urinate in the shower? All right, but Zach, get us to the phone line. We got game week, man. It is game week.
0506. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's so Hogbone.
Hogbone. I don't even have to ask Hogbone.
Here we go.
Yeah. You really got to ask me if I pissed in the shower there, big dog.
I don't have to.
Well, you got to get rid of that athlete's foot off in boots sometime.
Oh, man.
It's good.
So he doesn't floss his toes. He takes his tallywhacker and JT's on him.
Well, you got
you keep kicking us off tonight.
Hey, listen, I had a question to ask you today. What about game superstitions?
Oh, yeah.
Got any gang superstitions? I have to wear my Bo Jackson jersey.
Mm.
Watch the game. I just don't feel right without it. I don't think we do as well.
Okay. Bo Jackson jersey.
Yeah, I have to wear that. But I do have one question about recruiting tonight. What's the deal with our O-line recruiting? Just like everybody else is asking. Is there anybody that we think that might be fixing to pop up here?
Well-timed question, Mr. Hogbone. We appreciate it. We appreciate your call. We appreciate your loyalty, Hogbone. But yes, perfectly timed because what's happening? What is it? A week from today? Cole?
September the 3rd.
Yep. Week from today.
Week from today, Hogbone. What's happening, Cole?
DeAndre Carter, 4-star interior offensive lineman from Santa Ana, California, modern day. Will make his decision between Auburn, Michigan State, and Texas. And I'll have a more in-depth intel piece on this, if you will. But I am feeling really good about Auburn right now on that one. I mean, really good.
Yeah, that would make 2 of us.
He is
makes 3.
Number 151 overall in the On3 industry ranking, Hogbone. He is announcing Sunday. I think Texas, Michigan State are his other 2 finalists. Cole and I both have predictions in for him. I'm Jhead. If he could, he would too.
Correct.
But that would be a huge first one. But man, we'll see what happens after that. It can't stop at 1.
No, you got 2 to 3 more at minimum, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say 3 is the minimum. You don't want to go below 3. You got to get 3. Mm-hmm. You probably could go to 5 if it works out that way, but 3 is the minimum. I actually checked into this today. I'm trying to learn more about some more prospects, and there are going to be some new names. I don't know them all yet. I think there's some under the radar guys that they're watching really closely. Just the way it is. I mean, they're not going to. We know this. They're not going to take somebody they don't think is worthy now that they have had this success in the portal.
Sure.
If they take them, they think they're worthy. I mean, they probably could have had a couple of commits on the offensive line by now, I think.
I agree. I think it definitely, and I know me and you have discussed at least 1 or 2 offline, Cole, that we absolutely could have taken and have decided to kind of slow play and watch and see how they do this senior season. And look, OL is a developmental position. It is a hugely developmental position. So it is not outside the realm of possibility for us to scout somebody we like during their senior year that kind of pops up. Because this class, and Jeffrey, you've said it, we've all said it, is not strong nationally speaking from an offensive line standpoint. And people are kind of turning over rocks right now. And I think there are a couple of flip targets in addition to some new guys as well. I mean, I don't think they've given up on Khalil House. I don't think they've given up on Talamua, Cohen Eccles, multiple others that we've mentioned on this show. How many of those can you realistically get? I don't know. But it's probably going to be a mix of maybe a junior college guy, 2 more high school guys, maybe one of those is a flip, maybe one of those is a project, who really knows. But my expectation would be 4 offensive linemen in this class, and then they'll probably fill gaps if they have guys turn pro early, like Dylan Wade, through the portal. I can't imagine they're going to try to adjust that with a high school guy in this class.
Well said. Well said. Good stuff, Hogbone. Appreciate you, big dog. Keep us going there, Zach.
8861. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Kevin from Wimmer, Alabama.
There's Kevin.
There he is. What's happening tonight, Kevin?
How you doing, Jeffrey?
I'm doing good, big dog. Are you ready for this game coming up?
Yeah, I'll be at the game too.
Oh,
all right.
Good for you, Kevin.
What's on your mind tonight, big dog?
Riddick and Perry Thompson.
Cole.
Yeah, DeMarcus Riddick. I went to his game last week. I haven't heard much since. I know he told me that he was going to go to the Alabama game, the first one, and then be at every single Auburn game after that. He doubled down on that. Now, I think there is a chance Auburn says, hey, let's not go to that Bama game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any intel on that. I think they probably will try to stop that if I had to guess. I mean, why wouldn't they, right? It depends. If it's something that he really feels in his heart he needs to do and he needs to go fulfill that, and he promised he was going to be there and all that, they probably will back off and say, go ahead, but be here, for the other Auburn games or whatever the case. But I do think there's probably going to be an attempt to stop that visit. Well, we'll see how it goes. And then Perry obviously had a really big game. I don't know much else about him as far as his recruitment. Sounds like everything's going great with Auburn.
Still publicly in Auburn's corner when it comes to recruiting and everything else. But good deal, Kevin. I appreciate you keeping us on our toes about those two guys, man. Auburn's 2 5-star commitments, Perry Thompson and DeMarcus Riddick. Appreciate you, Kevin. Keep us going there, Zach.
5960. You're
There he
live.
is.
Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Oh yeah.
I can feel it coming. Oh, Lord. What's going on, fellas? It's football season, man.
It is, brother.
Yeah,
Now,
baby.
I got to ask you a question. Now, you told us you were going to take a 2-week hiatus. You said you were going to go on some dates. You hadn't missed a week yet, brother. You lied to your wife, man.
Man, no, man. She know how much I love this thing, man. She know I love all, man. When it comes to me, she knows. I've been in it long enough. I've been with her 13 years. We've been married 10. She know when it comes to God, my family, Auburn football, hunting, fishing. That's all I do anyway. She don't bother me.
I hear you.
My man.
Good
Big
man.
time.
Yeah, that's a good woman. That's a good woman, man.
What you thinking, Big Ed?
I just took her and put on the plane. She in Orlando, so I'm home alone, man. I feel like a bachelor, man. Damn, they done ordered me a few strippers. Hell, I'm home alone for a couple of days.
Make sure them blinds are turned up.
Oh, man.
What you thinking, Edward?
How y'all doing, man?
6 days away, big dog.
I got the call, and I got to talk with Mr. Jeffrey Lee because last week I did something that I shouldn't have did, and I got to go back on something. Oh, man, you made a bet. We made a bet.
I'm listening.
And me betting against Peyton Thorne, I've seen this happen. Listen to me for a minute. I've been seeing it for the last, ever since Bo Nix was the quarterback at Auburn. I've been seeing it to where one side of the fan base wanted this guy, one side of the fan base might have liked this guy a little bit. And that always bothered me. Because I always said, damn, regardless of who playing, they both playing for Auburn. So why would I wish one to do bad, so I can be right about another one?
As long as they got a blue jersey on.
It bothered me. And that was not that kind of fan. I still believe Robin may get his shot. But I'm not going to bet on Thorne to do bad in order for Robin to get his shot. And here's why. Thorne do bad, that means Auburn do bad. I love Auburn too much to even want to do that. So thought about that.
That's fair.
I can't make that bet with you like that because I never wish for one player to do bad for another player to succeed. I'm not gonna be that type of fan. That just ain't me. And so,
yeah, if there's a change, you would hope it's because Robbie's just too good not to play.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. If it happens that way, then that's fine. But I'm not gonna sit here and say I want Peyton Thorne to go to College Station and throw 3 interceptions. That way Robert can be the starting quarterback. Yeah. That means I probably lost the ball game. I hate losing, man.
Mm-hmm.
I hate losing. So I'm not going to sacrifice losing for the sake to win a state. Yeah, I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to even sit here and be wishing for that to happen when I watch the game. I want Peyton Thorne. If that's Hugh guy, that's who we pick, man. And like I said last week, I'm rolling with you because I believe him in everything he said. He rolled with Peyton, so hell, we're gonna roll with Peyton, and I'm gonna let that be like that.
I like that, Edward. I like that, man.
Guys, man, on the corner, I had a guy cut me out on the corner last night.
What?
I ain't really get a chance to respond because somebody deleted it.
What's his name?
Well, I think Trey AU, and then there was anonymous, like a anon with a long number.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done, dude.
He's done, son.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't me trying to. He accused me of race bait. Hey, man, I got 2 white sister-in-laws, I got 2 white nephews, well, biracial nephews. I got 2 biracial nieces. You see what I'm saying? Why in the world would some of my best friends in the world is white? I went to a predominantly white high school. You know, why would I be promoting y'all show on national TV with Paul Feinberg if I felt some type of way about a different race?
Edward, nobody took that guy seriously.
I don't do that. I wasn't raised like that. I don't believe in that. You see what I'm saying? But my thing is easy to sit it with a damn phone in your hand and type stuff that you wouldn't say to him.
That's right. That's right.
But what I warn y'all again, you never know who that person is you talking crazy to.
It's true.
Thanks for Jesus Christ that he changed my life. And I'm not the person that I was. Edward was one of the most dangerous people in Dallas County 25 years ago. I'm not that person anymore. So be careful who you sit here and talk bad and say stuff that you wouldn't say to their face, man, because you never really know who you talking to.
That's true.
What damn nigga, man. Y'all guys have a good night.
Excellent. As always, Edward. And listen, we forgot to ask him if he pees in the shower. But
man, I piss in the shower all the time, man.
You thought he was wrong, but
my wife was taking the shower about a month ago, and I had to piss. I said, well, shit. Let me stand in front of her and act like I'm taking a shower. And shit. I'm pissing the whole time, right now off in the drain. You got to piss in the. I'm a country boy. I piss anywhere.
Hey, that's how I view that too.
I'm a high society guy myself.
No.
So hey, here's my thing about message. And Edward, I've always thought the same thing you just said, dude. If you knew who some of these people were, man, I'm telling you what. I respect. Listen, I don't disrespect or think less of somebody who uses an anonymous message board name, because I want everybody to, if that's how they feel comfortable. But I really respect somebody who comes on there as, you know,
right, like Bruce at Gmail.
But I mean, I get it. Anonymity is it's safe for some. It makes you know, you or whoever feel safe. Zach McKinnell comes on there. You know, there's no doubting. It makes you accountable, more accountable for what you're saying. Jeffrey Lee's not going to say something to this guy unless he means it. And hey, it's coming from me, big dog. And I've had a couple of those. All right, cool. Always great, Edward. My favorite caller. We appreciate you, big dog. Never thought for a second anything about that.
He always presents an angle that I didn't think about.
Yeah,
every time.
Always fantastic caller. We appreciate it.
Another caller needs no introduction. 5810.
Yeah.
You are live.
Fellas, that's it from Montgomery.
What's up, Big Anthony?
Say, Lee, did you say that you played receiver in your heyday?
I was a quarterback until I realized in high school when they got a bigger football, my hands. I couldn't throw a football, so I did play.
Evil behavior. I'm talking about you get out the shower to go take a piss. And I'm surprised because you're an outdoors guy. That really shocks me.
But I'm very clean.
I understand that. Hey, it's almost like shower Olympics in there. If I don't hit that drain, I'm trying to hit that drain.
So far, I'm on an island here, right?
Yeah,
I'm the only liar, according to Cole.
So there were a few people in the chat who agree with you. It was very few, but there were like 2 or 3 that agree. Okay.
We'll send Taylor to R. Kelly's house.
Bet Jhead's trying to get the show demonetized tonight.
All right, Anthony, what's on your mind tonight, big dog?
Got two questions for y'all tonight, man. It's game week. So, what are y'all predictions for the top storyline coming out of week 1?
Ooh, very good.
Then the second question is December, we're going to say January, predict Pinkston stats, yard, touchdown, interception. That's all I got.
Okay. Hey, fantastic stuff, Anthony. Hey, that's real quick. We'll go. This is a fantastic question.
Yeah, it is.
Now, forget the score and all that. What's the top storyline coming out of Saturday's win?
I got it.
Okay.
Did Jarquez Hunter play?
Oh,
I think that is going to be the lead. Going into the game, maybe coming out of the game.
Why didn't he, or he did play?
Correct.
Jarquez Hunter will be the top storyline come Saturday evening.
I firmly believe that.
I think that's fantastic. I didn't think about that. Cole, you got one?
Well, I was thinking along the lines of the running backs, being that I named them the number one position unit. I think the storyline will be, oh my gosh, Auburn has a really good running back room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zach, you got one?
I think Jalen McLeod. I think an edge rusher is going to have a big game against that UMass O-line, and I got a feeling it might be Jalen McLeod.
Nice.
After watching UMass last night, they can score some points than they did against New Mexico State, but I'm thinking Auburn's defense is going to shut them down. I'm not sure if they're going to shut them out, but they're going to shut them down. And that's not a big hot take or anything, but I think it's going to be Hugh Freeze is known for his offense, but his defense held them to 6 points, 2 field goals. I really feel like the defense, but I mean, I think Jhead hit the nail on the head. I think everything else was running a close second or a distant second. It's going to be Jarquez Hunter. Either he did or didn't play, and that's going to be your top one. Anthony also want to know real quick, Thorne numbers. Is he passing for 2,500 or more?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I think I don't think we're going to have a receiver with 1,000 yards receiving, but I do think you're going to have several guys in that 700-yard range.
At least 2. That's what I think I've said. At least 2 at 700 plus.
Right. 2 at 700 plus, maybe 1 at 500 plus. They're going to spread the pill around a good bit, but I think he's going to be around 2,800 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 10 picks.
Okay.
I think he'll be right around 3,000.
Okay.
He just threw for 6,000 at Michigan State. He probably didn't come here to throw for less, right?
Yeah.
Not in this.
A good range would be what, like 2,800 to I think 3,200.
Yes.
Right in that range, and I think 24 to a high end of about 30 touchdowns could be reasonable.
Yeah, I think if you look at the way that Hugh Freeze has managed quarterbacks over his career, has there ever been anybody that he's had that has had limited production where they're less than 2,500 yards passing? Except for last year when he rotated 3 quarterbacks or 4 quarterbacks for that matter, because he had so many injuries. I think Bo Wallace tossed for over 2,500 each and every year he was there. Chad Kelly absolutely did. And Malik Willis definitely tore it up. Yeah. And even the kid, I think they called him Buckshot that first year he had him at Liberty, was plus 2,500.
Yeah, he was good too.
Yeah, he was.
While we're on the topic of the game, someone in the chat asked, do you guys think Auburn covers the 38-point spread? That's what it is right now.
Interesting.
I've got them, yes. I think so.
I think you have to. It would be disappointing if you don't cover 38 points against UMass.
Yeah, I think they cover it.
And this is what I'll say. Hugh Freeze knows their defensive personnel pretty well. Liberty played UMass last year, and I think they beat them by 30-plus points.
Yeah.
So schematically speaking, they're not going to be doing anything different. They've got the same coordinator back on the defensive side of the ball, so he's going to know what to do objectively speaking and how to attack them, what their weak spots are going to be. I would bet that contingent on how the defense shows up. That, to me, the question is the front 7. Do they show up, or is this a situation where we're still kind of not necessarily playing up to our capability?
Yeah, I think it's going to be something like 45-6, something like that. So that would be Auburn. That would be a push, but I'm taking it. Well, hell, that would take the over and under at 52 too. It's going to be something around 45-6, in my opinion.
I think it could have a chance to get up into the 50s because of Robbie. I think they're going to really let him throw the football and continue to see what he can do even after Peyton Thorne is out of the game. And then he's obviously in the zone read game. If you start to get a team down like UMass and then you just decide you're going to run the football and mercifully down their throat, well, now you've got a dual threat quarterback in there that you just can't tee off on the running back. You have to account for him as that 11th man in the run game.
Well, it wasn't a money game, but you guys remember, what was it, 2016 Arkansas with Cam Petway in them, and they just started running the football down their throat. And by the end of the game, it was like Cam Martin was like the 5th string running back, and he was breaking like 30, 40 yarders at the end of the game, and it just got out of hand like that. once you start running down someone's throat, it could get ugly
Is
fast.
that the same one that Stanton Truitt came in at running back?
Yes.
And then
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like they had like the 6th-string running back in there killing Arkansas.
yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
Hey,
those were the days.
real quick, and we'll move to the next caller. With the potential of the California game getting hairy, there's a chance because it's weird. It's sort of a weird game, weird time, all that stuff. Do you leave guys in longer? That's something that Justin and I talked about on the football show for tomorrow. Do you leave them in longer? Do you want to get them some more play? You know, how does that go? I'm not sure.
I do. I want to build as much chemistry as possible this week.
Seems like it, yeah.
I'm with you guys on that. I think you've got to be smart. So my guess is you'll let them play a full 3 quarters.
Yeah.
You're going to get them out in the 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get to that point, you've played enough ball to get yourself ready for California, and then you're just going to let the second guys, the second and the third team come in there in that 4th quarter. But
I completely agree.
Mixing 1 and 2 is pretty good all the way throughout.
I agree. 3 full quarters for Peyton Thorne and those guys, and running the full offense, or at least they're not trying to shorten the game or anything. So I think we'll get to see a good 3 quarters of what we should expect, right?
Now, let me ask you guys this, because we did it some last year. Do you think we're going to rotate on the offensive line with the starting group and then try some different personnel groupings in there?
Against UMass, yes. But if you don't have it figured out by week 2, and especially week 4, you're in a lot of trouble, I think. You got to have it figured out. This is the week to, in my opinion, rotate.
Sample some things.
Yeah, because
I'm not making big overhauls. I'm not sitting in a whole nother right side. I'm gonna see if this dude at right guard, maybe let me see what he looks like moving over here. What that type of thing, yes. But you want to think that the foundation of your offensive line, that unit, that starting unit, is pretty secure going into that Cal game. If I'm the offensive line coach, I want to feel very good where I am when we're flying west.
Well, was it Cole that reported like Xavion Miller? It would be a good chance to rotate him in there. And it's like, is he a better option?
Right.
Here? And like, I think maybe a 6, maybe 7-man rotation would work, but I don't think we're going to see. What was it? Michigan.
I completely agree.
Was it Michigan State, Cole, like 2 or 3 years ago, where they were rotating like 9 to 11 offensive linemen per game? I don't see Auburn doing that.
I think you'll see Xavion Miller, Tate Johnson, and Connor Lew.
So 7 to 8. Yeah, I completely agree. I would say 7 and throw in Lou for 8. Tate Johnson, yeah,
and Muskrat, probably Muskrat too. There you go.
And I think they probably need to get Connor some work, just because what you've got in Avery Jones. But Connor Lew, if he's truly your second center, he's a freshman. You absolutely want to get him involved in that game in some capacity. But I was thinking even more simplistic, and Zach, you hit it on the head. It's really determining, is too tall Miller better at right tackle and then you're sliding Gunner inside? Or is it better off to keep our main man Jeremiah Wright at left guard and then you keep Connor on the outside? So, Gunner on the outside. Those are the two to me that I'm going to be watching in that game. How does Jeremiah Wright play? Is he firing off the ball and doing the technical things that he needs to do? Because he's got the nasty stuff to him, man. I mean, he's the makeup that he has and the physicality he brings. You can't coach that. But too tall in and of himself is a very good offensive lineman. And so it's an interesting dynamic to me of how you work around that.
Also, keep in mind, the clock's burning just a little bit faster now.
Yes.
And we got some samples of that with the first games. So there's a potential that it doesn't get to the 50s or something, or maybe it doesn't get out of hand as fast.
Interesting.
As it would in years before. So that could play a factor in guys substituting.
Very interesting.
Play calling is going to have to be more deliberate. I mean, you can't be as exploratory as you used to be, because you're cutting down at least 7-8 minutes a game minimum.
I went to the FCS kickoff game. That's the game I covered this weekend, the Mercer North Alabama game.
Oh yeah,
that first quarter went by so quick because of that clock change. Because Mercer came out and ran the ball, and that clock was melting fast out there.
Yep, I'm not opposed to it.
From your standpoint, hell no, I don't blame you, dude.
It was 105 degrees in the Crampton Bowl at kickoff, like off the turf. I was dying out there. It was hot.
I felt bad for those kids. I was in home. Hell, it was all my air conditioning could do to get it down to 75. It was so hot outside. It was
Yeah.
disgusting. It has been all week, man, all week. And I think it's supposed to get down in the 80s this week. Maybe some showers coming in. But yeah, it's the weather. I'm too old for this shit, man. I'm not lying to you, dude. I told Jessica, we went for a walk the other morning, and it was like 8:30. And when I got back, I said, dude, I can't do this, man. It was 104 heat index out there. I was like, get me out of here, dude. I can't do it.
Jay Lee just went full Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon. Too old for this.
We got 3 callers now that just called in. We'll go to our guy Sky Underwood calling in. Sky, you're live.
What's up, gentlemen? How about you?
How about you, big dog?
Y'all doing all right?
We are now, Sky.
Heck yeah, man. Game week. Fired up, brothers.
Are you?
Wanted to call and chop it up with you a little bit, ask y'all a couple questions. So the first question, what is Auburn's record by meeting expectations? Is that 6-6 or 7-5? And what's exceeding expectations? What, 8-4, 9-3?
Sky, you better tune in to Justin and I's show tomorrow morning. We talked about this for about 15 minutes.
It's a good talking point.
It is. I'll give you a little preview of that real quick. I mean, 6-6 and 7-5, I think, are both really close to expectations.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Just like with Texas A&M. Now, you've seen Desmond Howard pick him as he picked Texas A&M as the national championship winner last year. He's high on them again this year. Thinks they're going to be the SEC West, and that is because of recruiting. Okay, recruiting gives you really high expectations, and that puts more pressure on you as a head coach. So Auburn did really well in the portal, right? You got some guys to play now and make an impact now. That means the expectations have gone up a little bit. I think it's closer to 7-5.
Me too.
At least from the fans' perspective, because fans, sometimes fans are unreasonable, right? It can be that way. I think as long as you get a top 15 class, you win the games you're supposed to win, I feel pretty good about your future. But, fans are going to want more than that now that you got an experienced quarterback, you got all these guys. So it's shifted a little bit, I think.
Cole, I'm with you. I mean, you see fans right now on social media, they're 10-2. 9-3, and I'm like, let's come back into the vein of reality here, guys, because to me, the floor is 6-6, the ceiling is 8-4, and anything that exceeds that is gravy, right? But my actual expectation for this season, and I've been on record of this since the spring, 7-5, top 10 recruiting class, bowl game, you win it. If you get to 8-5, that is a successful season, specifically if you address the talent deficient issue, the talent acquisition issues that we've had. If you get all those needs in this class, your top 10, brother, you have answered everything and then some.
Right.
I completely agree with Jhead. I'm 7-5 is my expectation. Anything more than that has exceeded it. Bowl game, 8-5, top 10 to 12 recruiting class.
Yeah.
That's a gas year, big dog. I just learned that word, by the way. That's gas. Yeah, I'm pretty hip. What else? What else you got for us, Sky?
I think we lost him. He's not on here anymore.
He didn't even pee in the shower for us.
No.
I bet he does, though.
Yeah, I would imagine he does. But we're going to go to Carter. Our guy Carter Malden.
Oh, yeah.
Carter?
You're live.
Gentlemen, how are we doing?
How about you?
How about you there, Carter?
Just wanted to give you all a ring and get your thoughts on a few guys that I've been doing some research on, and wanted to see, first question, where do you think we stand in terms of a Bradley Shaw commitment timeline first? And I would love to hand the floor over to y'all and see what you think the outcome of Florida season will have to be for us to make a run at Amir Jackson and Jamonta Waller.
Hey, Carter, does the Bama Bride let you drain your radiator in the shower?
Oh, she is displeased when I do, but let me tell you something. How can you not?
Lord have mercy, this island is lonely.
No doubt, brother. You feeling like me and you on Wednesday talking about Saquon Patterson.
Yeah. My goodness. Cole Pinkston was at the Hoover Auburn, Alabama high school football game Friday night. Cole, you talked to some people. Tell us about Bradley Shaw. What's the latest with him? Any timeline for commitment? Everything you know.
I was real upset I didn't get to talk to Bradley, and we had talked before the game that we were going to. Of course, Hoover got beat. It was a tough game for them. They went to the locker room, and I knew probably wasn't going to see him again that night.
Anytime you go for an interview, you better hope that team wins.
Yep. And look, he had a incredible game.
Did he?
And look, I went and watched him last year, and he, he didn't overly impress me. I've been pretty honest about that. I felt like he left a lot to be desired as a box linebacker, a guy who plays, in between the tackles. But he has ramped that up, guys. He's gotten better, and this is what the Hoover coaching staff has told me at the many times that I've been over there. He had close to 20 tackles. He had a sack.
Damn.
He had a blocked field goal. So he's a player, guys, and he's put on some more weight, good weight. He looks good.
He looked thick.
Oh, he probably weighs 230. 6'1", 6'2". So yeah, he is the prototypical linebacker size. I think he's starting to get to be more of that box linebacker like he needs to be, in my opinion. So I was impressed with him. What I'm hearing on him, and he's, again, not a guy that talks. In fact, the coaches at Hoover are like, you might know more than we do about him. Like, we don't hear much about him. He doesn't say anything. He's not talking about his recruitment. Sometimes colleges will call the coaches and be like, hey, hadn't heard from Bradley in a while. It's just how it is. Some guys are like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. He told me last that a decision will come during the season. I've heard recently it could come as soon as,
Mid-season.
week 4, week 5, week 6 of the season. I think that's when it might happen. I think Auburn and Clemson are pushing on him a little bit for that, so it could be sooner. And I really do think it's an Auburn-Clemson battle here.
Good stuff. And then let's see, Florida.
Yeah.
Florida. Amir Jackson is a 4-star tight end committed to the Gators. Auburn certainly continues to recruit him. They expect him to come up for an official visit during the season. Auburn would like nothing more than to get Amir Jackson. Listen, don't forget about Jamonte Waller, the 4-star outside linebacker from Mississippi, who's also committed to Florida. Florida's got a damn good class right now. They've got a lot of guys that Auburn would like to have in their class. But is there a type of season? Is there a win total that Billy Napier, if he fails to reach, these other kids, these kids start looking around and going, man, is there a better situation for me elsewhere?
I would say if he's not 5-7 or better, yeah, absolutely. If they go 4-8 or even 5-7, to me, he's in jeopardy because the negative recruiting reaches an all-time high. Now, I don't think Florida's going to fire him. I think they realize after Dan Mullen that they're going to have to give him some time to acquire some talent to fix some of the holes that were left on that roster. But I believe a really good season by our transfer tight end, Rivaldo Fairweather.
That's the key.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at 7-5. And
That's
if you're
the key.
Florida and you're 5-7, and every coach in America is telling, look, we just went through this with Gus and then with Brian Harsin, right? We know what this is like. Every coach in America is telling those kids, you better not commit to that school. You better not sign it. That coach isn't going to be there in a year. And the reality is, in the way things are today, with the amount of money, fans, boosters, expectations are through the roof year over year. And it's real easy for us to be calm when we're, not in the heat of it. But when those losses are racking up during the year, those boosters get that itchy trigger finger, don't they? You know what I mean? They start saying, man, I'll pay the buyout. Just get rid of this guy. Let's get somebody else. That's the reality of it. That's the world we live in these days. So I think, if he's not 5-7 or better, that class is time to get picked.
And to give you some context on this, dude, like a lot of people feeling this guy's going to fail. I mean, it's not just 5-7. What did you go last year? 4-8,
6-6. So he went 6-6 in the regular year, and then got smoked by Oregon State.
6-7.
Yeah.
He finished with a losing record. Okay.
Yep.
And this will be his second season?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Another 5 win, another losing record. People are going to doubt that maybe he was a right fit. He's probably a great football coach, but we've seen great football coaches go to great football programs and stink.
It's different building a winning culture at Louisiana Lafayette than it is going to Florida and building a championship program in the SEC. We've seen it repeatedly. It's a different type of animal. And I mean, you had a top 10 pick in Anthony Richardson, finish with the losing record, and now you go get an average Big Ten quarterback like Graham Mertz, and now you plug him in. I just don't see how that is a winning team this year, especially with some of the teams in the East, with Tennessee on the up and coming, with Georgia being that good. Kentucky's always pretty good. South Carolina was hot last year. I mean, you're looking at, they might be the 5th best team in that conference. I mean, division.
Hey, I wouldn't argue with that, Zach. I think every one of those teams will beat Florida head up, unless I see something that's completely different than what I'm expecting.
I'm not sold on Kentucky. I'm not.
No, did Florida lose to Vandy last year?
They did.
They did. Okay.
They did. And that Vandy team last night did not look good versus Hawaii. Now, it was week 0.
Really?
Oh, shit, I missed that one.
But
they had their scoreboard hanging in the wind on like a rafter. And it was terrible. Like the scoreboard was swinging in the end zone because they're still doing that. Because the Vandy had a bad night all around last night.
Aren't they supposed to be like super smart at Vandy? They have They should have the blueprints done and all that. They should have been way ahead of schedule on it.
Big difference between book smarts and common sense.
There is a lot.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
We're going to go back to Sky because he lost position. So we're going to Sky, you're back live, man.
Awesome. I'm going to try to keep it quick and concise, but I want to jump around to a couple things. First thing I want to touch on is DeMarcus Riddick that Cole was talking about earlier. I would encourage all Auburn fans, I would not be the least bit of concern if he does, in fact, go to Bama's first game, because, and this is maybe something I've read from Cole, but because do you guys realize that when DeMarcus Riddick decided that he was going to commit from Auburn, he was on his way home from Tuscaloosa riding in the car with his parents back to Clanton. So he had just visited Tuscaloosa when he had made the decision to commit to Auburn. So I'm not worried about DeMarcus Riddick at all. And I appreciate the hard work that Cole has done in covering his recruitment. 3 programs, guys. 3 programs who, if they have a bad season, can have the biggest positive impact on Auburn's recruiting, and those because of the head-to-head for guys that we go out. So who do you think the 3 are? Texas A&M, Florida, and
Miami.
I just had it. What's the third of them? Florida, Texas A&M. There was one more.
Miami's good.
Miami.
Yeah.
When you think those are the 3 programs?
Absolutely, I would.
That season could positively affect Auburn as far as recruitment's concerned. And the last thing, and I'll hang up.
Maybe Ole Miss.
It seems like Gus, his run pass split when he was at Auburn, it was more like 60% run, 40% pass. What do you guys think we'll see out of Hugh Freeze, his pass run split? Thanks, guys. Enjoy the show.
Appreciate you, Sky, as always, big dog. Good talking points there. Anybody have a ratio? What you expect? What do you think?
Yeah,
I'm always a 60-40 run guy.
I think they're going to lean into the run, but go ahead, Cole. I cut you off.
No. You go first.
I'm going to go 55 on the run, 45 on the pass. I think they're going to lean into the run game, but Hugh Freeze has shown a lot of balance, and that's part of his offense, right? Because of the RPO read involved with a lot of what he does. So it's on the quarterback to kind of make that decision somewhat. And if they're reading the key right, whether it's the middle linebacker or the safety, whatever it is, in that 3-surface concept, that's going to kind of drive, depending on how teams try to attack us defensively speaking, what the ratio is. But because of the running backs we do have, and I think they're going to want to probably build cohesion through the run game, I'm going to go with 55% run, 45% pass.
I don't think the first game is going to be an accurate representation of the split. I think that's probably what it is for the first game. I think the season, 55 pass, 45 run. I'm giving the edge to pass for this offense.
That's a fantastic question on Saturday. Like, what is the ratio Saturday? Are we going to see the run game because of the offensive line? Are we going to, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean,
how many rushes?
The thing about this offense, you call the RPO, and it could be either one. So
there you go. Yeah. That's true.
I think the better percentage is how many percentage plays are RPO plays, and that's something I will keep tabs of. 100%.
I'm with you on that, Cole. That's going to be an interesting case study, and I'm looking forward to your report on that because a lot of people, and I'm not throwing shade here, but a lot of people think that certain things are RPOs when really it's a design play, right? Like that's
Jhead, I don't know the difference
or whatever. So
I know the difference by watching QB's eyes. Sorry, Jhead.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see your breakdown on that. But what teams, guys, speaking in the vein of recruiting, back to Scott's question, do you guys agree with those three teams of Miami, Florida, and Texas A&M?
I said Ole Miss only because like who is Miami got or is in on like Zaquan Patterson is the only one. Who else do they have? Because I'm thinking Ole Miss, Kamarion Franklin. Because I mean he's the only one on. Kevin Riley, that's very good. So you got Kevin Riley, Zaquan Patterson, Miami, Texas A&M for sure. I think that's an absolute. And
that's
then
the top spot, I think.
Yeah, and then who was the other one?
Florida,
absolutely. They've got at least two. We know Auburn wants. A&M's got at least two.
Yes,
at least two. That Auburn wants. Cohen Eccles, Cam Coleman, Jamonte Waller,
Amir
Jackson. Miami's got Kevin Riley. They've got Zaquan Patterson. I'm with you now. I'd forgotten about Kevin Riley.
And what is it? Emmanuel Henderson? Is that who it is? This the wide receiver that we targeted early on.
Emmanuel Henderson, I believe, was the running back that went to Alabama, wasn't he?
Yes, right. What's the wide receiver's name that committed to Miami?
Dang.
But I mean, but I was thinking Ole Miss. All I can think of is Cam Franklin.
Right,
but Auburn loves Auburn loves Mississippi right now.
I'll
Hugh Freeze, Jeremy Garrett, all those guys. Jake Thornton, they love Mississippi.
Let me give you a sneaky one on this one. Arkansas.
Ooh.
Because of there's a big wide receiver that's committed out there. I'm trying to think of his name right now off the top of my head that we really liked, and then Charlie Collins, also big defensive lineman committed to Arkansas. If Sam Pittman's not there, I think that probably helps us a good bit in those situations.
Chance Robinson,
that was the first one. He's the Miami commit you were talking about, Jhead. I forgot to mention Arkansas could become a player for Bradley Shaw.
See, there you go.
Hey. Yep.
Yeah. And T. Will got him to OB.
And they're not going to go away. And they're not going to go away on DJ Barber either because they hold him in high regard. You know, Travis Williams does. I mean, whenever you're in a, I don't know that much about Arkansas with Bradley Shaw right now. When you're in a recruiting battle for a linebacker with T. Will, I'm going to pay attention to it.
You should.
You know what I mean?
He got him to OV, and look, they can sell the playing time out there.
Yeah.
What probably hurts you with Shaw a little bit is the fact that you got the top linebacker in the state committed to you in this class, and then you've also got DJ Barber also already committed in this class. So does Bradley Shaw want to be a part of that? Does T. Will use that against Auburn in this recruitment? I sure would. I mean, if we're being honest here and laying our cards on the table, I absolutely would sell that.
Yes.
Could you say Florida State possibly? If they fell flat, KJ Bolden, and then, I mean, I don't know if anyone else in their class is a huge Auburn target.
Well,
I feel like they've been head up with Auburn for several guys.
Yeah, like a few people.
Who's the big DL that we really, really like? Strong side defensive end.
You know another one?
LJ McCray.
I'm sorry.
Yes, LJ McCray.
That's who I was thinking to Florida on.
Yeah, Florida and Florida State, that helps you if they tank.
Oh, you got Landon Thomas is in there too for Florida State.
Oh, yeah.
And KJ Bolden.
Landon Thomas.
So there's a couple of teams. If they were to not have the season that is expected.
Jonathan Daniels.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the second running back.
Cole.
Yeah. Yep.
BJ, BJ Gibson. You remember that kid? I think his name was BJ Gibson. I think he's from UMass Wright. I think he went to Alabama. He's probably an OG recruit. Do you remember that guy?
Gibson, yeah,
Brandon Gibson.
BJ Scott, wasn't it? It was BJ Scott.
I'm thinking of Brandon Gibson, I think.
Yeah, it's Gibson because he was, like you say, he was playing at UMass and he was a dog at UMass too.
Never did anything at Bama.
On the subject of offensive line recruiting, there is a Florida State commit offensive lineman that I would watch, at least maybe for a game visit or something. I know that Auburn loved this guy, Manasi Itet. I'm not sure how to say his last name. From California, another guy from California that I know they like. So they're probably going to try to get him.
Manasi Ititi.
On, yeah, Iteti.
Is he Ititi? It is Itete. Ititi.
Do you guys want to hit this last caller real quick?
Yeah, please do.
I've got one last one.
And CJ Hurd's another one from Florida State. Remember CJ Hurd?
Yeah.
7914. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from? 7914. You're live.
Hey guys, I first time caller here. First off, Jeffrey Lee. Only peeing in the shower on certain occasions. I totally agree with Jhead on that case, where it's a case by case basis as to whether or not I'm hungover. Two quick questions for you. The first is on the show the other day, you guys mentioned some JUCO ranks and some possibly going towards them for some offensive line and defensive line recruiting. Didn't know if you guys had any real early names. I know JUCO guys usually don't kind of get all the buzz and hype till later. Second question is turnover margin last year. Auburn was dead last in the SEC at -9 for the season. Tennessee was first at 11. Georgia and Alabama were both kind of right around even or just a little over positive. Where do you think that Auburn ends up this year in that regard with a new offense and a defense led by some guys who forced a whole bunch of turnovers last year? I will hang up and listen to you. Thank you.
Hey, I don't know your name, but fantastic call.
Absolutely.
Good one to go out on. All right, so JUCOs, I know, Jhead, you've posted about one. I think we've talked about him. You have on this show now that Zaquan Patterson is committed to Miami. You've got a JUCO safety you think Auburn fans should keep an eye on.
Yeah, this is a guy that Cole has actually, I think he watched this young man play a couple different times. So I'm going to kick it to Cole here on what his actual skill set is. But he's got a top 5 right now of Auburn, Ole Miss, Florida, Texas A&M, and Houston. This kid's not a slouch by any means. I think he's a former 4-star out of Greenville, fantastic athlete. I don't know if we're going to go that direction just yet. My guess is we'll probably monitor him early in the season and see how he plays this year. But judging from what I've watched on his huddle highlights and the way he competed in high school, it would be worth it to me to kick the tires there very heavily, while also probably still quietly recruiting both KJ Bolden and go ahead.
Patterson, right?
Yeah, is it Quan Patterson?
Yeah, I did see Laquan Robinson play when he was in high school at Greenville one time, and best way to describe him is, that's the closest thing you're going to see to Smoke Monday. That's exactly his playing style. He is a hard hitter. You got to watch him for targeting. He might do that, and he's real instinctive. And I don't know what his true speed is, but that's. I don't want to call him a plan B exactly because I think they are recruiting him pretty well, but he's definitely somebody that if you don't have success with Zaquan Patterson and KJ Bolden, which is very possible, you might turn to him. He might be the next guy.
Yeah.
Turnover margin. Now this is when we were talking about Peyton Thorne's stats, Jhead, you said 10 interceptions, and I think the reason that caller was talking about Auburn being so high on turnover margin last year was Robbie's inability to not turn it over. I think that was one of his big downfalls for me. It goes without saying, I think most football fans, man, don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over.
Was it the LSU game that it was just, it was atrocious. That's probably the main reason Auburn ended up losing that game is they had that late turnover in the second half when they had that one good drive going. It just went.
Yeah,
It just took all the momentum out
Yeah.
of Auburn's sails.
no, that wasn't on Robbie though. That was Coy Moore. I mean,
Yeah,
it really wasn't. I mean, it was not really his fault either. It was a
Shall we remember
weird
that?
play call. Robbie dropped the ball. I graded this game, so I remember he dropped the ball 3 times on the mesh on the read option power read stuff. So that was a problem. He recovered all of them, but that's a dead play, so that's hurts you. But and then he threw the pick at the end on. I really don't blame him as much for that one either, because it was the same play call they had run almost 10 times in that game.
And it was the strip sack they got that started LSU's momentum.
Oh, yeah.
The strip sack return for touchdown. So Robbie had 2 real turnovers in that game. But I'm with you guys. To me, Robbie only threw 7 interceptions last year, right? But it was the fumbles. That's what killed him more than anything was the fumbling. Either which way, it doesn't matter. Turnover's a turnover, right? Whether you're throwing an INT or whether you're fumbling the football, it's irrelevant. But you're right. And the other thing is the defense, God bless Schmetty, but the defense that we utilized was not necessarily trying to generate negative plays and turnovers. It was more bend but don't break. And that was a lot of what it was. Keep everything in front of you. Don't give up a bunch of touchdowns, and people kind of chewed us up some. Specifically in the first part of the year, I felt like they made some good adjustments down the stretch. Ron Roberts is a very aggressive play caller, and he loves to generate negative plays. To me, how many turnovers we generate probably is how good is the pass rush, because there are going to be times you have got to, in this league, be able to get home with 4 to generate turnovers. Got to. You cannot blitz every other play. As good a play caller as he is and as exotic as his blitz packages can be, if that's what we're doing to generate a pass rush, somebody is going to blister us when they catch you the wrong way. So to me, it's all on Jalen McLeod. If he can get home consistently, I think the way that they diagram things, schematically speaking, you're going to have more turnovers this year, especially with an experienced secondary. But the pass rush has got to be there to get that to happen.
I like it. Let's get to some listener-submitted questions there in the chat, man. We'll talk it out for a few more minutes. Brian Smith, cute little baby there. Question for y'all. Where does Auburn rank among NIL money? We're in the top 10, top 20 in the NIL. Jhead, I have no idea.
I don't think anybody really knows, if we're being honest, because
competitive, yes.
Everything, we're competitive. I would say we're top half in the SEC. Absolutely top half the SEC. Where we are nationally, I don't know, because most collectives aren't really trying to tell anybody how much money they have, right? Like, you don't know how much money they have till they strike a deal and you start to hear the rumors of what that deal was coming out of it. So until we get some transparency and there's some kind of a database where contracts are really kind of announced,
that'd be pretty cool.
And it should be, right? Like in pro sports, like people want to make the comparison right now that this is like pro sports. It's really not, because
still under the tables yet.
Yeah. The contract is the biggest part of this, right? Like in the NFL, when you sign a free agent, the first thing you hear are the figures, like 7 for 49 or whatever it is. There's no transparency in college as to what the NIL deal is. So that leads to ambiguity and frustration among coaches and fans and everybody else.
I think that's what Tuberville and that cat from Oklahoma or somebody is trying to do in the Senate right now.
Joe Manchin from West Virginia.
There you go. That's what I said.
He's Nick Saban's boy.
Okay. Buddy Colt. What a cool name, Buddy Colt. Buddy Colt. It's kind of like a porn name, isn't it?
Yeah,
Buddy Colt. Do you think all freshmen offensive linemen will be redshirted? Cole. We already talked about Connor Lew playing, so no.
No, but I mean, they get 4 games. That is the rule. So I think he's going to play more than 4. So no.
Okay. Good stuff, though. That's a good question. There were, I think, 5 high school guys.
Yes.
4. Was it 5?
Yeah, I think the rest of them do redshirt, but I think Connor Lew is the exception.
Dylan Simba being the 5th.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's right.
He's a high school guy. Like, look, I know he.
Oh, for sure. No, he's high school.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's a high school guy. Let's see. Which backup? Hayden Harris wants to know which backup or young player stands out the most in the second half in garbage time, I'm going with my freshman All-American.
Yeah, I agree.
Mr. Keldrick Falk.
Okay. Which backup player stands out in garbage?
Mine is also a freshman, Jeffrey. It'll be Jeremiah Cobb.
Oh,
That's a
hey,
good
I
one.
like that.
Heard good things lately.
I like that.
I think he has. I think he is going to play. I don't think he's going to redshirt either.
Okay.
I'm going to go Jay Fair.
Okay.
I think VAR's going to start. I think Jay Fair is going to get a lot of snaps in that second half.
If they're going into garbage time, there's no way. I mean, the way the receivers are right now, I think they're going to be okay, but they got to get them some play. So you're going to see the main guys in the whole game, I think.
Do you guys I know that question earlier about the percentage in terms of running pass. Do you guys think that really depends on how the wide receivers develop? Because we talk about like how good the running back room is, but if we're getting to week 7, week 8, and we still don't have a guy, like let's say Shane Hooks isn't what we all think he could be right now. I mean, that run pass percentage could be very skewed year one for Hugh Freeze if he doesn't have a guy that he trusts 100%.
Yeah, I think it does change. I mean, because first of all, if you have an offensive play callers that are going to, take what the defense gives. That's sort of their style, right? Then you're definitely going to have an offensive play caller who goes, all right, this is what our personnel fits. They're going to look at it that way.
So many storylines going into this game. I'm so glad it's finally here, right?
Oh, gosh, man.
My goodness. I'm tired of it. James Barnett.
Celebratory wings last night for it.
Good for you. And then you peed in the shower. What about Patterson that just committed to Miami? He only committed because that's coach policy. How locked in is he? James, I'm going to be honest with you. I agree with you. I don't like that the coach forces these kids to make a commitment. I don't like that at all. I guess I understand it from his point. He wants, but listen, it's not like they're committed and done, and now they can focus all their time on their team, dude. It might even make it more difficult because now he's wondering if he made the wrong decision at the wrong time, and I don't know. I just don't like coaches giving kids timelines. High school coaches. I don't know. Do y'all feel differently about that? I hate that.
No,
it's none of his damn business.
And I do think that the team that he committed to is the current leader right now. Like after checking around on.
I was talking about in general. Nothing about Zaquan. I'm just saying that it kind of pisses me off.
It doesn't piss me off, but it is like let a kid make a decision on his timeline, right?
If that was my son, I'd tell him to go to hell. He'll do it when he gets damn when they're ready.
Correct. You know what I mean? But you're also a strong, father and male figure. I don't know, who is in Zaquan's life from that standpoint that can tell a coach that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know his family dynamic.
Yeah, I get it. Like the concept behind it, because you
I do
want
too.
to be locked in and go win the state title, especially being a competitive high school in the area. But at the same time, it's like, man, you're forcing a 17, 18-year-old kid to make a decision for the next 3 to 4 years. I mean, you got the transfer portal, but at the end of the day, like if they transfer once, man, like, you're seeing a lot of kids right now who thought they were going to be able to play this year that are going to have to sit on the bench that could have been NFL prospects, etc. So it's just, you can always decommit whatever, but it's just like if a kid's really not sure, there should be a way around it.
And that would maybe be my approach. I would say, Coach, I understand where you're coming from, and I hope that you can understand where I'm coming from. I'm raising my son to be a man of his word, and when he gives these coaches his commitment, he's done, son. All right? There is going to be nothing else. Okay, so if he's not ready by August the 26th, he's not doing it. We're going to continue to take visits, and I'm going to make it sure that he has the best, information that he can to make the best decision for him possible. And we're not going to rush it.
And I'll tell you how undone he is. The kid hasn't taken one official visit yet. Not one.
Which I give him credit, by the way. And that would bother me, Jeffrey, as a dad as well. I think it would bother me a lot. But I give credit to Zaquan because he's told us, hey.
Yes, absolutely.
He doesn't harp on it. He doesn't go, I got to do this. He's
right. I don't want to, but I'm going to have to. He didn't do that.
He didn't do that. He said, I'm going to commit this day, but I'm still taking all my official visits. And he has been strong on that. He said, everybody in my top 5 has a chance. My mom likes these 5. I like these 5. So we're going to take it down the wire. Now, I have to commit on this date, but this is how I'm going to go about this. And I've appreciated that.
He handled it the best way you could have.
I agree.
He didn't really call anybody out either.
No.
He didn't. He just said he was
He explained the situation. My coach wants us to commit, so I'm going to. I'm not going to stop my recruitment. I'm going to continue taking visits to make sure that I make the right decision. I just think that the whole thing's silly. All right, Hugh, get us moved on, Hugh Relly. Here's the question. Do you think Hugh Freeze goes vanilla on offense or put some video out there for something to think about and prepare for? I've got a quick opinion on this. I think the first game, dude, there's no concern about that. He's trying to get his team better.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going, oh, let's don't run that play. I don't think so. I think he's saying, run that play. I want to see what our reaction is. I want to see how we do. Is that going to be a fixture in our offense? My opinion. He's running, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. He's not running the double reverse pass or anything.
the jet sweep triple option. I don't think we're going to see it.
Yeah. I do think he's going to put some things on tape against UMass to make Cal kind of chase some ghosts. So I absolutely believe they're going to do that in that game. But I'm with you, Jeffrey. I think they're going to rep the hell out of the base. You know what I mean?
There you go.
That doesn't mean that if I told you they're going to rep the base when Gus was calling plays, what does that mean? We're going to run the ball 40 times in that game.
Inside zone.
With this, because the read on it, I think you're going to see a lot of balls in the air. They're really going to throw the football, but that doesn't mean that they're going to tip their hand as far as adjustments they're going to make later on throughout the year. But they are going to big time rep what they weren't able to accomplish in fall practice. You know what I mean? They're going to get live game reps on this.
Here's the way I see this offense. I think what you see is what you get with it. I don't think there's too much that's just going to be totally different down the line from game 1, because it's all. And Camden Brown told us this. It's option routes.
It's the read, right?
It's the read. Take what the defense gives you. It's not, hey, this is a different play call this week. It's the same play call. You might have a different option. It might look different.
Right.
So you got that going on. Plus, what we call the tag or the attachment. Yeah. So that's the RPO. RPO first is run. That's the R, run. You call the run play, and then the pass is the attachment or the tag. Okay. So here's inside zone, but I've got a slant with it. But I got a bubble screen with it. But I got a now screen with it. That's what's going to change, the tags. Everything else is base, and it's going to be base to the Bama game.
Yeah. Now, I do think they'll nuance some things where, like you said, it'll be a small wrinkle with certain personnel groupings and what they've traditionally called in that personnel grouping. They'll make a change on that just to get people out of more or less kind of anticipating what's about to come. You won't have Jeremy Pruitt screaming from the sideline what we're about to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're going to and utilize some things, but it will be within that base. Like you said, Cole, it'll be a small wrinkle to make that change. It won't be a whole, full scale scheme change like we did in the middle of last year when we transitioned to the triple option. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to go that route.
I don't think you're going to see, and then we'll move to the next question. I don't think you're going to see like in the Iron Bowl game, everything that they've been doing all year didn't work. So now we're going to start throwing it, and then we'll have some success with it, and it'll piss you off because there was a little success with that kind of – it's not going to be like that. I think what you see is what you get from start to finish with this offense.
Yeah.
Caleb Wofford wants to know, I didn't see this. Are y'all allowed to comment? Absolutely we are. Deuce Knight, the 4-star 2025 quarterback from Nashville via Mississippi. I think it was George County, Mississippi. He transferred from to Lipscomb, I believe, in Nashville. He had a lackluster performance Friday night. Did he, Zach?
Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, there was a lot of drop passes, but I mean, it wasn't great. But I mean, he did lead a game-winning or a game-tying drive to get to overtime at the end, and he got hurt. I want to say like he was like favoring his shoulder. I mean, it just wasn't good. I mean, I will say though, because I know a lot of people, man, the board was freaking out. You got to remember, the kid's still a junior.
Yes.
Transferred to Lipscomb the first week of August. So he didn't go through summer. He didn't go through spring. They got a brand new head coach, 4 new offensive linemen from last year. And man, they weren't blocking a soul. I mean, is it Antonio Williams or White for Saraland? I'm talking about was eating that offensive
yeah?
line apart. And then on top of that,
I
I
want
want to say Coleman. There you go. Antonio Coleman was eating Lipscomb's line up. And I mean, Deuce had 8 drops in the first half. I mean, it was bad. And then he just started forcing stuff. It wasn't his best game, but I'll just say, listen, just calm down. One bad game where they were a missed extra point away from knocking off Saraland on the road after playing IMG last week. I think he's going to be all right.
I would agree.
And he had an up and down game against IMG, but TJ Lindsey was bearing down on him in that one, and David Stone and Jaden Jackson. I mean, good gracious. But hey, I'd say this. Sorry, Jhead, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
I'd say this. No, it's not a big deal, but unfortunately for a quarterback, and if you're going to invest in a quarterback, if you're Auburn, you take that game and go, all right, we are watching you. Unfortunately for him, that's just how they're going to go about it now. Okay, we gotta see how you take the step from this game now.
Yeah,
I think Oliver Anthony stole Caleb's woman. If you look at that picture, y'all see that? Hey,
yeah. See how he responds. You're right, Cole. And look, there are other guys they like too. George McIntyre's another one. You know what I mean? There's several guys in that class. So you're right.
Let's see. Josh wants to know, what are the fellas' thoughts on ESPN guy predicting 5-7 and wants the SEC win? What are their predictions? I didn't know there was. I don't watch that shit, man. Dude, apparently somebody predicted Auburn 5-7. I don't think that's crazy.
Do you know who it was? Take a wild guess who predicted us to go 5-7.
Does David Pollock still work there? Does Greg McElroy?
No, he got fired.
Mark Slayball, if that tells you anything.
Is that the Cam Newton dude?
Yes. Okay, Georgia graduate. Look, I'm not trying to take a shot at him, but I guarantee you he doesn't even know who Auburn acquired in the transfer portal this year. It was a
terrible,
laziest reporting I have ever seen and/or projected.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He had no idea what was going on. He was like, "Hey, 5-7."
No. Yeah, just like, hey, Auburn coming off of a 5-7 year last year. Hugh Freeze is coming in. What does he really have? 5-7 again. Somebody's got to be last. You know what I mean? That was what I took out of his reporting and his scout work on that. Like, literally, let me just get to the year and see these guys in game one, because I honestly don't know. That was what I took from it.
Well, I think we're all in on about 75 is kind of what our predictions are. We've been saying that for a while, but we're basing that off of names and paper and confidence in this coaching staff and confidence in Hugh Freeze. Yes. So I will be glad when I see Peyton Thorne on Saturday. Who's he throwing to? I want to see that offensive line. And then I think next week I'm going to say, I still feel 7-5. That's about what I was expecting. That's hoping to see. Or, man, there's going to have to be some work to be done to get to 7. Right. You know, I feel like we'll know a lot more because we're predicting right now the same as everybody else off paper, names, and history and confidence or lack thereof. Yeah. Stephen Kyle Frazier or Stephen Keel Betty. No, this is Auburn's show, but I know you all love college football. And with that being said, who is you all predicting for the playoffs? How many playoffs are there? Is there 4 teams? Are there 4 teams?
Yeah, four teams this year. Next year is a 12 team.
Okay. Georgia?
Yep.
I'm going to say Michigan?
Yep.
Clemson?
No.
Okay. I'm just going by conference. USC?
Maybe.
Alabama?
Mm-mm.
Tennessee?
No. I'm going to go Ohio State. Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and Washington. Those are my projections for
Washington Huskies.
Yeah,
they're good.
Yeah,
yes,
they're all.
They're like 11th in the preseason. Like they returned Michael Penix and a whole lot of weapons.
Is that Peterson probably have coach?
No, so
it's the old Fresno State coach, right?
Yeah,
DeBoer, is that his name?
Yeah, DeBoer.
I had no idea Washington was good.
Well, their offense is fantastic.
Legit. Remember the lefty quarterback? The last time they were good, the lefty quarterback was it named Mark Ripken or something? Well, who did they have?
Jake Browning.
You talk about Mark Brunell when they won a national championship, right?
Okay.
Was that Brunell at Washington?
Yeah.
Okay,
they made the playoffs behind Jake Walker, right, or someone like that. They made the playoffs in 16.
Yeah, they
have
did
a-
make the playoff, and then they got just
Mark
rolled
Brunell.
by Alabama. I mean, absolutely
Yeah.
rolled in that game.
I have a controversial top 4 with the playoff.
I do too. I'll let you go, Cole.
I know you're thinking the same thing as me. I know you are. So Georgia,
Yep.
I think Clemson outlasts Florida State. People think that's the 2 for the ACC if there's an ACC representative. I think Clemson outlasts them. I think the quarterback they have, Klubnik, is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the country.
Okay.
So I'll go with Clemson.
Okay. I can hear you.
So Ohio State
Yeah.
and Oregon.
Ooh,
Are
I
you gonna
like
leave it?
that.
Yeah. You're going to put
Yeah.
Bo Nix in, baby.
I
Yeah,
like that, Cole.
I'm
You know
right with
why?
Cole.
Because they don't play Georgia this year.
No, they don't.
No, I like Cole on that because that's what I had. I had Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, and then I got LSU at 4. I
You
think
get
LSU
Georgia.
slides in there.
I'm not buying Michigan.
Here's my slide in team. I'm sorry for keep. But am I just an idiot for thinking Tennessee?
No,
You're not an idiot. I just
I'll
don't know how
figure.
Joe Milton's going to be. man.
I'm the same way.
Like,
I think Hendon Hooker was the
Okay.
bomb last year. I don't
Okay.
know if Joe Milton can live up to that quite.
Okay.
I mean, he can throw it like Uncle Rico, but, you know,
And a dark horse team is Notre Dame too. If Sam Hartman is as good as he looked at Wake Forest, Notre Dame could be a scary team to see throughout the year.
I'm with you, but I want to see how they play against Ohio State.
Same.
know-
That's
I need to know how
that's the game.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know
is-
anything about their defense right now.
Do you think we could name 10 teams and absolutely no doubt about it, the playoffs will come from these 10
Yeah.
teams?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree. Absolutely.
Which would be
Georgia,
LSU,
Michigan,
Yes.
Michigan, LSU,
yeah,
Alabama.
Alabama.
Michigan, Ohio State,
Yep.
Clemson, Washington,
I would throw Texas in
Oregon.
there.
Florida-
Oregon,
Yeah. Florida State.
Yeah.
Florida State. I think that's a good one. Okay, so the playoffs will come from those 9 teams.
And what did we say? USC?
USC.
Yeah, you got
there
to throw USC in there.
There you go.
Yeah, you got to throw SC because there's legitimately at least 3 pat teams because you don't know who's going to come out of that group.
I agree.
Because you got to throw Utah in there, man. You people sleep on Utah. Utah has been right there
You
for
people.
like 6 years now.
No, I mean, look at TCU last year.
Yeah.
I don't love Cam Rising coming off of an ACL injury, Zach. I'm telling you right now, man. I honestly believe Florida could get the upset in that game. Like,
That'd be huge.
Ooh, that
For
would be
Napier,
huge.
that would be huge if he gets that upset on the road.
Yeah, it would.
Cam Rising makes all the difference in that roster. And if
Did we
he's
say
not-
Penn State?
No.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a
but-
crazy one that we missed. Penn
Not a
State's
bad
right there
pick.
too.
So you're taking basically 3 teams from each league, each conference.
Yeah, probably.
You got
much,
Michigan
yeah.
State, Ohio State, Penn State.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Mi-
ACC,
Michi-
I only
Michigan.
put ACC. I would only put 2: Florida State, Clemson. I don't think
Okay,
there's. a
I
third
completely
ACC
agree.
team.
Not Miami. I would not.
No,
No.
hell no. If they go more than 6-6, I'll be shocked.
Alabama, Georgia, LSU.
Yeah. Big 12 only gets 1. I think Texas is the only team out of the Big 12 I see maybe making a run.
Then USC, Washington, Oregon.
Yeah.
Would it? All right. So speaking of the Big 12, Oklahoma, do you think it's more likely that they go 3-9 or 9-3?
Not
I
I'm-
don't know much about them.
3
I'm
and
telling
9.
you right now.
They're
yeah.
not good.
Oh wow. Who's their coach?
Venables, right?
Brent Venables.
Yeah.
They
Coach
lost
Steve-
49-0 to Texas last year, and no one talked about it.
Yeah.
I still don't know how that wasn't talked about. They lost the Red River shootout or whatever, 49-0, and no one talked about it.
Damn.
And let me
Yeah,
ask you,
I remember that.
That's a Mike Shula at Alabama type.
yes, Oklahoma's coming into the SEC. If Brent Venables goes 6-6 or worse, you think they fire him?
They have to.
Because do
Be
you
a great time to do it.
Yeah, do you want to come in on your front foot or do you want to be the girl that pooped on your prom dress before you even got to the prom? You know what I mean?
She's trying to pee in the shower, and
Yeah.
Apparently, man, and just went the other way with it.
Dude, I better not ask that. Can
Look at the wheels turning in Jay Lee's mind.
women aim?
Oh, I mean, I think it depends.
I don't know. We'll talk about that. All right, let's wrap it up there before we get demonetized. Zach. Look at him. Oh, God. What am I going to do? Let's see. We've got shows all week long coming at Auburn Live. YouTube page, like, subscribe to our page, get those hit that notification because we're going to have shows. Sunday night is going to be the call-in show, football show on Monday, football show on Thursday, a recruiting show on Wednesday. Then we've got the modcast starting on Fridays, and then we'll be back, of course, on Sunday. I think Tuesday and Saturday are the only 2 days of the week that we will not have shows on the Auburn Live YouTube channel. So go like, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification so when we get new videos uploaded, you will know it. Let's see. What am I forgetting? Cole and Justin will be on tomorrow with the football show, and then we'll all be back Wednesday. I got to keep my dates straight. Wednesday for the recruiting show. We'll talk about some of the recruits that are coming in this weekend for unofficial visits. If there will be any official visits, I know there were some scheduled. Camarion Franklin, I believe, was one of them. Don't expect that, but we'll confirm for sure. We will be on it all week. Justin and Cole with the football. We'll be keeping up with recruiting and all the basketball. Basketball got a lot of recruits going on. A lot of official visits. 5 stars after 5 star in that 2025 class. Dude, Bruce got them coming in. We'll be tracking all of that at Auburn Live on 3. There's still a special going on, Auburn Live on 3. I think it's 50% off annual subscription. There's still the $1 for the first month. If you want to get on that, go check us out at Auburn Live on 3. That's going to do it for us tonight, folks. We appreciate everybody listening. We appreciate everybody watching. For Cole, for Zach in the back who came to the front, we love him in the front. For Jhead, I'm Jeffrey Lee. Stay out of that left lane when you're coming to Auburn this weekend. See you.
Yes.